Dr. Tamara Marco, research writing professor at Emerson College and historian of Latin America, who has lived and worked several months of the year in Medellin for the last 8 years, directs and co-founded Proyecto Boston Medellin. She designed her research writing class to focus on the process of grant writing to help sponsor 9 young emerging Colombian artists and 3 faculty to come to Boston to spread peace through an exhibition of their artwork. The exhibit is in April 2010 at Emerson College in MIT. Students spend 15 weeks researching, revising, and finalizing grant proposals.
It's really research intensive. There's a lot of time that goes into it. There's tons of hours, lots of pages. We had to take over 15 pages of research and boil it down to a 150-word synopsis for our grant team. So we need to be able to capture their attention right away, but we need to know what we're talking about. We need to be thoroughly researched and know the ins and outs of our grant, what our artist is doing, how Emerson is being involved. It's a lot of work.
While the course provides an in-depth understanding of the process of researching grants and writing grant proposals, it also exposes students to a unique bicultural and bilingual experience.
Even here, we're doing it across cultures through art. Like, we're dealing with the artists in Colombia, and then we're here students in Boston, Massachusetts. And so it's a way that we can relate despite the fact that we mostly speak different languages and have different cultural understandings of each other and have our own cultures. It's a good way for us to come together and unite in trying to create this piece.
The first time I heard the word Medellin in class, I thought of the television show Entourage, where the characters make a movie called Medellin, which is a Pablo Escobar story. And, that's almost embarrassing to say now, but that's all I knew.
The first day of class, I never heard of Medellin, and I was unaware that it was a place, and I thought it was a Japanese relaxation technique.
Drugs and drug cartels and drug running, about violence, Pablo Escobar, and that's pretty much all I thought was, you go to that city, you're in trouble, you better run for your life.
Natalia Perez is a Medellin native whose passion for visual arts is awe-inspiring. Her paintings, drawings, and photography is influenced by well-known directors Spike Jonze, Wes Anderson, Federico Fellini, Martin Scorsese, as well as Disney and Pixar films. Estefany Vasquez studied to become a nurse, but has had a passion for art and photography since she was a little girl. She's in cohorts with Natalia in their project entitled Workers of Medellin, Everyday Life. Clara Mojica is an animator, video artist, and photographer. She has experience in everything from directing to production, and she has grown closer to her city and its inhabitants through working on the documentary entitled What Stories Does Medellin Tell? Urban Narratives of Homeless Residents of Juanin. Juan Pablo Soto Posada is an ambitious individual who has a vision for the future. He has developed exemplary skills in such programs as Adobe Photoshop, Adobe Illustrator, Flash, as well as other photo editing software. He believes that with these skills, he can communicate his thoughts and ideas more fully to the public. As a child in Medellin, Cesar Augusto Munoz Toro is well developed in various techniques such as drawing with charcoal, painting with watercolors and oils, and graphic expression. He has discontinued his physical arts and is now putting all his studying into photography. Cesar has an incredible love for music. A few of his favorite artists are Amy Winehouse, Kanye West, Coldplay, The Killers, and Kings of Leon. Susana Uribe Madrid has acquired a love for the arts through her mother and grandmother. Her specialties include technical art, design, and casting. Her main interest is architecture. She has gained a sensitivity of perception and comprehension of her city through its surrounding buildings. Isabel Cristina Hernandez is a multi-skilled woman with such expertise in basketball, cello, and urban and architectural development. Alexander Silva Carmona is a student of architecture, a water polo player, a painter, and a lover of film and culture. Lucas Corajalias is an enthusiastic individual who has learned life's greatest lesson: wealth does not make you better. He has learned to appreciate life for what it is and to remain positive through all of life's problems. He has graduated from college and is now working as an architect in Medellin. Juan Marcelo Huasoro, an architecture student at La Universidad Nacional, is in his 10th semester and is greatly involved in Proyecto Boston Medellin. Near the completion of the project, the students were able to bridge the distance between Colombia and Boston and speak to their fellow artists.
Clara, estamos llamándote otra vez. Por teléfono.
Hola, mi nombre es Juan Pablo.
Hola. Hola.
Hola.
Hola, yo soy Alex.
Hola.
Hola, 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 Alex.
Hola, soy Natalia.
Hola. Hola, Natalia.
Hola, soy Estefanía.
Hola, Estefanía.
Hola. Hola, soy César.
After working on Proyecto Boston Medellin, students leave research writing with a newfound respect and perspective toward Medellin and Colombia.
Now I definitely think of progress and just passion, like with the people that the artists that we've worked with, and from reading like the letters from like the mayor to National Geographic about Medellin. There's just so much passion and love for the city that has gotten such a bad rep in the media, and so you really just see how dedicated they are to the progress, and I think it's a really interesting and fascinating thing.
More so now, I think we've been educated to think about the process of helping Medellin and taking steps to aid their movement forward. They're coming out of a lot of trouble, a lot of rough times, a lot of drugs, a lot of violence, but I think that we all need to overlook that, and the point is to move past it and help them move past it.
With the new youth, including our artists that we're working with, there's just a dedication to preserving their city and making it a place that their kids can grow up in happily and not have to worry about the violence. And I mean, I think even from like 10 years ago, just the significant decrease in violence is really telling of what is to come.
I think of a huge turnaround. I think of lots of work on the parts of the natives of Colombia and people on the outside who care about Colombia and who care about Medellin. I think about peace. I think about the constant effort and the work put into that push for peace and the peace process, and how much work it's taken throughout the years, and how much work they still have to do, but how much progress they've already had.